All right, Gemini, welcome to your explainer for April 2026. And wow, what a month you have ahead. Seriously, it's like a story in 3 acts, one that takes you from feeling kind of stuck and frustrated to a seriously dazzling personal rebirth. So let's just dive right in.
I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? It's basically the headline for your entire month. All the astrological energy is building up, pointing you toward this incredibly powerful conclusion. So just keep this in the back of your mind, right? Every little challenge, every single win, it's all part of the journey, leading you right to this amazing new chapter.
Okay, so let's start with Act 1. The beginning of April is all about shaking off that fog. You know, that period that's probably felt super unclear, maybe even a little frustrating. Yeah, you're finally stepping out of that and into a much more dynamic, clear-headed state of mind.
And this is a huge energy shift we're talking about. Remember that bogged down, kind of murky feeling from the Mercury retrograde in Pisces last month? Well, it's finally clearing up. You're basically leaving behind all that frustration and confusion and stepping into a space where you can be assertive, you can be confident, you're getting your dynamic spark back.
And you know what? This new clarity pays off like right away. There's this absolutely fantastic link happening between your ruling planet Mercury and lucky Jupiter. What does that mean for you? Well, if you've been waiting on any kind of professional or financial news, this is when it could come through, and in a really good way. This is for sure your moment to raise your profile.
So let's look at how this all plays out on the calendar. First up, April 2nd, there's a full moon in Libra that might have you doing a bit of a juggling act between your friends and your romantic life. Then, from the 3rd through the 9th, you've got assertive Mars giving you this huge confidence boost to really push forward on any projects you've been working on in private. But the big day, the one to circle, is April 9th. That's when Mercury, your ruler, is officially clear of its post-retrograde shadow. That mental fog, it's gone. For good. And all of that clarity, well, it brings us right into Act 2, the great social sort-out. Yeah, now that your mind is sharp again, the middle of the month is going to ask you to take a really honest look at your friendships, your alliances, and even your big long-term plans.
So you might be asking, what's causing all this? Well, it's a pretty intense planetary trio all hitting your social sector at once. You've got Mars, which brings a ton of energy but also potential for conflict. Then there's Neptune, which can throw in a bit of confusion, making things feel a lot less clear. And finally, you have Saturn, the big reality checker, coming in to test your long-term plans. Basically, these three are going to put your friendships to the test, and any weak spots in your alliances, they're definitely going to come to light.
All of this planetary pressure, all this testing, it really just boils down to one single super important question. Everything that happens in the middle of April is basically designed by the universe to help you figure out who is really on your team. You know, who genuinely shares your vision for where you're headed.
And I know that sounds intense, but really you should think of it as a necessary changing of the guard. First, you might see some cracks forming in a key relationship or a group dynamic. That might then lead you to let go of a friendship that honestly just isn't working anymore. But here's the upside, the really important part. The bonds you have with your true allies, the people who really get you, are going to become stronger than ever before.
And thankfully, the universe gives you a little help right in the middle of all this. Think of the new moon on April 17th as your cosmic reset button. It brings this really healing energy. It's a perfect chance to forgive someone who might have let you down, or maybe even forgive yourself and release any of that self-doubt you've been holding on to. It's a total clean slate for your social life.
Okay, so once you've cleared out all that old social baggage, you've made space for the main event. We're now at the climax of the month, Act 3, a dazzling rebirth. And trust me, this is where all that hard work you've been doing really pays off in the most spectacular way. But first, you get a moment to just catch your breath. After all that social intensity, the sun moves into Taurus on April 20th, and it's basically an invitation to just rest, reflect, and let everything that's happened sink in. You can almost think of it as the quiet, peaceful moment right before your next huge chapter kicks off. And then, the sparkle arrives. On April 24th, you've got Venus, the planet of all things charm, beauty, and attraction, sliding right into your sign. This is your cosmic green light to completely reinvigorate your personal identity. Seriously, it's the perfect time for a new haircut, a new wardrobe, or just to feel your natural charisma and magnetism come roaring back to life. But you know what? Venus is just the warm-up act. The real main event lands on April 26th. That's when Uranus, we're talking the planet of revolution, breakthroughs, and pure genius, enters your sign. This is a monumental shift.
It's going to supercharge your identity in the most epic, unexpected, and exciting ways imaginable.
And what you really have to get is the scale of this. This is not some quick little visit. Uranus, the Great Awakener, is setting up shop in your sign for the next 7 years. It's kicking off this massive, long-term cycle of innovation, liberation, and just fully expressing everything that makes you so uniquely brilliant and dazzling.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot to cover, right? Let's take a breath and pull it all together with a quick recap of the key themes for your month. So when you break it down, the month really focuses on 3 key areas of your life. In your career and finances, the start of the month looks like a potential high point, maybe with some really good news. For relationships, it's all about that big necessary reset, letting some connections go to make your true alliances even stronger. And for your own personal growth, well, the end of the month is kicking off nothing less than a dazzling reinvention of who you are. So, as we wrap this up, the big takeaway is this. April 2026 is all about you clearing the decks. You're clearing out the old stuff, both professionally and socially, to make way for a completely new and profoundly exciting chapter of your life. So the only question left is, after you've cleared the way, what are you going to do with this sparkling new beginning?